not yet 4 p.m. on the dot. Is the mic on? Check.
No.
Hello everyone, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining. I see you. Okay, so before we get into all of that, this is coming to you live from Clearview Hospital, Clearview Fertility in Lekki, and we wanted to use this opportunity to remind you that it's the World Fibroid Week beginning from today, and you know, 1 in 5 women is predisposed to fibroid, and in Africa they used to say it's an African sickness. You have about 80% prevalence of fibroid, and of course it does not have a specific cause. But of course, you know, when the uterus is there for a long time with nothing growing in it, something must grow. And one of the things that comes there is fibroid. Another name for it is myoma. And it can happen at any point in time in your life from your reproductive age. It can happen even after you've had your first baby, when you give a long gap. So just get checked. And at Clearview, we do what we call hysteroscopy, you know, viewing the uterus to help you out with the fibroid. You can either do the surgery or remove the fibroid through what we call hysteroscopy. So that's, by the way, it's World Fibroid Week, and that's why I'm bringing this to you. Now let's get into the business for the day. It is breastfeeding. Now we're going to be talking about the benefits of breastfeeding to both the mother, the child, and of course the husband. So what is breastfeeding? If you have a question, I would just like you to wave and or type it. I will be reading as we're talking. So what's breastfeeding? Can anybody give me that answer? Breastfeeding, breastfeeding, breastfeeding. I didn't introduce myself. Sorry, my name is Matron Tessy Momo. Thank you very much. My name is Matron Tessy Momo from Lekki Hospital. So what's breastfeeding? There's no rocket science to it. Breastfeeding is the act of giving breast to either a child or an adult. So that's basically it. It's the act of feeding with breast milk from the breast. So what are the benefits of breastfeeding? So to a nursing mother, breastfeeding would help the uterus go back to its original state. It's what we call involution. It will help that uterus contract quickly, you know, to go back to its original state, reducing the stomach size quickly. Breastfeeding would help you with what we call the lactation and amenorrhea method of family planning. Because the more you breastfeed, the more your brain secretes prolactin, the more the estrogen and progesterone that are responsible for menstruation in a woman, the more they are suppressed. And once those hormones are suppressed, ovulation won't take place. When ovulation doesn't take place, there will be no pregnancy. It has successfully helped you in family planning, in spacing your child. Breastfeeding actually does make you look fresher when you eat well as a woman. Breastfeeding is cost effective for the mother. It is cost effective. You won't need to start having to buy baby food too early enough. Yes, and there's no, you know, people say it does not satisfy the child. It does not. It's not true. God has made it naturally so that from certain age to certain age, breast milk alone satisfies that child. So there's no replacement for breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is number one. To the child, breastfeeding has antibodies that actually protects this child. It gives this child immunity, both short-term and long-term. It improves the brain function of the child. It improves the growth of the child. You would know the difference between a breastfed child, especially when you do exclusive breastfeeding. You would see the difference between a child who is exclusively breastfed from the one that is not breastfed, not exclusively breastfed. There's always that difference. So breastfeeding is the importance can be overemphasized in the life of the child and the life of the mother. And then even for the husband, I've had men tell me how they take breast milk from their wife and what they experience. It's like a natural aphrodisiac for them. So breastfeeding is beneficial for every family member. Breastfeeding for the baby will prevent diarrhea. You know, you don't have to start washing baby utensils, having to sterilize and all of that, except you're expressing breast milk in the bottle. But once you're doing exclusive breastfeeding and it is direct from mother to child, there's really no high risk for vomiting, stooling, you know, all the sicknesses that are associated with the stomach from food, dirty handling of baby utensils, and all those things. No, you don't have too many people feeding the baby for you. You're the one breastfeeding your child. So it really protects the child from all this childhood sicknesses, childhood diseases, and you see a healthy child. You see his skin, he or her skin fresh. They look healthy. They look bubbly. These are some of the benefits of breastfeeding. Again, it promotes bonding from mother to child. When you're breastfeeding as a mother, you find out that you use the opportunity to examine your child. It promotes bonding. It helps you identify what is and what is not in your child. When you're breastfeeding a baby, you'd even look into the ears of the child. You look at the hair. You look everywhere. You find out that breastfeeding gives you that opportunity to get to know your child, to truly know your child. Again, they've found out that breastfeeding reduces the risk of cancer for women. Yeah, it reduces the risk of cancer, and not just for women, for men. I think I sent this 2 years back. It reduces that because why? You're sucking on the breast. The breast muscles are used. The breast muscles are they are working, so it tends to reduce that risk for cancer for people that have breasts. Because these days you see some men with breasts. So once you have breasts, you're at risk of cancer. Breastfeeding helps you reduce that risk. Okay, does someone have a question? Let me see. Any question? I'm sure some people raise their hands. Okay, so there's Aisha there. What's your experience with breastfeeding? If there's any nursing mother, can you please share? You can request to join the video and share your experience with breastfeeding. We have just a few more minutes. Breastfeeding. Can we compose a song for breastfeeding right now? And you know, one of the things again about breastfeeding is, as a mother, you can actually breastfeed on the go. You don't have to start worrying about, okay, let me put baby food, I'm carrying bottled water, and all these things, wanting to make it, and all those plenty hassles that come with making formula feed for your baby. Breastfeeding, you just bring out the thing and you're good to go. Okay, so if there's no question, if there's, I believe that with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince and not confuse you that breastfeeding is very beneficial to both you, your baby, and your husband. Thank you very much. Happy World Fibroid Week. If you know any of your friends battling fibroids, afraid of going through a surgery, please just send them to us. They might not necessarily need a surgery. Send them to Clearview Hospital at number 14B Tayo Lowo Street, Lekki Phase 1 of Admiralty. Thank you very much. Oh, some people are just joining late. They're joining in now. Just 4 minutes to go. For the benefit of those of you who just joined in, we were talking on breastfeeding, the benefits of breastfeeding. We said breastfeeding for you as a woman helps your uterus go back to its normal state. It helps you with what we call, it helps you with family planning, the lactation and amenorrhea method of family planning. For your baby, it builds your baby's antibodies. It helps prevent your child against diseases and infections, all those childhood illnesses. It makes the child smarter. Yes. It makes the child strong, looking beautiful and healthy. It promotes bonding between you and your child. For your husband, it's like a natural aphrodisiac. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.